The lockdown response is used to take immediate protective action for students and staff during incidents that pose an imminent danger of physical violence by an individual or group inside the school or on school grounds. Lockdowns should not be used for communicated threats of violence, such as a bomb threat message delivered by phone, written, or through email and social media. Lockdowns are for severe and imminent acts of violence or situations that have the potential of escalating to violence. If any staff member perceives a potential or actual violence is about to happen, they should act quickly and self-initiate a lockdown. Do not wait for school administration to announce a lockdown. Examples where a lockdown is appropriate include the following: active shooter, fights or domestic incidents involving weapons, custodial issue where a parent or guardian could gain unlawful access to a child for the purpose of violence or abduction, aggressive, threatening behavior from a visitor within the building, other acts of perceived imminent physical violence to the staff and student body. When you hear lockdown announced, you should move quickly to execute the following actions. If safe, gather students from the hallways and common areas near your classroom. Next, close and lock the door and barricade the door quickly if necessary. Once the door is locked, students and staff need to move to a safe area in the classroom out of the view from doors and windows. Leave the blinds and lights in the room as they are. During lockdown, everyone must remain quiet and silence all electronic devices, such as your cell phone. If possible, the teacher will take a silent attendance. Do not communicate through the door or answer the room phone. Do not respond to PA announcements or the alarm unless smoke or fire is visible and you feel threatened. Finally, stay hidden until physically released by law enforcement or school administration. A lockdown can be an extremely uncomfortable and stressful experience, in part because all the safety precautions must be acted upon quickly to secure the building, isolate the incident, and secure suspects, if any. Once law enforcement is on the scene and has determined that no immediate threat exists or the threat has been neutralized, the students and staff should be properly taken out of lockdown as soon as possible. If the situation requires an ongoing investigation, your school should either consider early dismissal or downgrading to a hold-in-place procedure. This should help in decreasing the stress level while maintaining accountability of students. It's important that both the school and law enforcement work together in pre-planning how a lockdown will be lifted. The lockdown must be lifted room by room by physically opening the door, making contact with staff, and advising them of next steps. Any students and staff who are unable to take shelter in a locked classroom should exercise run, hide, fight to protect themselves. Run, hide, fight. These are actions that an individual can take when confronted by an active assailant and traditional school emergency responses aren't available. An assailant could be someone with a gun, a knife, a baseball bat, a car driving into a crowd, or some other weapon designed to harm others. The run, hide, fight concept is modeled after a safety procedure many of us have already learned: stop, drop, and roll, which must be done in succession. However, in the case of run, hide, fight, succession isn't important. You must choose which action is appropriate for your situation and act immediately. You'll also need to continue reassessing what you need to do throughout the incident. Let's say you're in a hallway and locked out of all of the classrooms, and an assailant is inside the building. What do? You might run first and then hide, or hide, then run and hide again. What you choose to do depends on your situation. And because conditions are likely to change throughout the event, you must constantly be reassessing your situation. Okay, So let's go through what it means to run, hide, and fight. Run is used to create distance between you and the assailant. We can't all run at the same pace, so whether you can run, walk, crawl, or roll, do whatever is necessary to create distance between you and the assailant. If you have a safe path of escape, evacuate immediately. Make exterior access a top priority. If there isn't a traditional path of escape, look for non-traditional exits. In the cafeteria, your escape might take you through the kitchen area. In the classroom, that exit could be through a rescue window. Make sure to leave all personal items behind. They'll only slow you down. Try to help others if you can, but don't stop or slow down if others don't want to evacuate. During the event, prevent others from entering the danger zone. The goal is to run from danger to safety. Once you're safe, call 911. Hiding is used when the assailant is too close for you to run. It also gives time for law enforcement to arrive. While hiding, it's very important to avoid the attacker's line of sight if possible. One way of hiding is to cover and conceal, meaning that you're out of view from the assailant and putting something between you and the attacker that could stop a bullet if necessary. Seek as much cover as possible. If you can, find a room. Lock and barricade the door. You can also try to wedge the door shut. Don't be afraid to improvise. For instance, using a belt and wrapping it around the swing arm of the door can provide added security. If you're in a bathroom with no locks on the doors, stand on the toilet seat so your legs aren't visible. If you are unable to run or hide, you might need to fight. Fighting is a decision that is already made for you. You have no options to run or hide. This is a last resort when your life is in imminent danger. Try to immobilize the assailant. Use items you can find, anything and everything available to you to hit or throw at the attacker. Act with all your might and with all your strength. Aim for areas of physical weakness: eyes, throat, nose, groin. Yell and scream for help when fighting. Things that can help you during a fight scenario include using a fire extinguisher or chair to stop an assailant, barricade the door with a desk, or use a belt to stop the motion of the door handle. Anything that immobilizes or slows the assailant down gives law enforcement more time to arrive on scene and stop the suspect.
Law enforcement's top priority is to engage and stop the shooter. Help will arrive shortly after to care for those who have been injured. Knowing some basic first aid may help save your life or the lives of others. Do you know how to apply pressure to a wound that is bleeding? Do you know how to make a tourniquet if you need to? When law enforcement arrives, don't yell or point. Keep your hands visible in the air with your fingers spread apart. Law enforcement may not have a description of the assailant, and you do not want to be confused for the assailant. Remain calm and follow their directions. Once you reach a safe location, you will probably be held by law enforcement until the situation is under control and all the witnesses have been identified and questioned. Meaning, don't leave the area until law enforcement authorities have instructed you to do so. Act quickly and decisively. Seconds count.